Hello witches, wizards, and muggles. My name is Christina and I am from Christy Customs, and I'm here today to show you how to customize these high top white leather Converse. And today we're going with the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them theme shoes. So for the first step, we're going to tape and prep them. The most common high top Converse are canvas. There are certain steps to prep for the canvas, but for today, because I'm using leather, we're going to be using the Deglazer. So today I'm going to be painting Newt Scamander and Dumbledore. They're huge characters in the new movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The main colors are going to be gray, navy blue, black, and white. So what I like to focus on is first getting the primary background color and doing light, even strokes. So the next color I'm going to be using is black, mainly just because for the smoked out effect that I want to create, we have to add depth to it. So adding a darker color would help give that effect. And I'm only going to be using black on the outside so that the light on the main part of the work that we're going to be doing pops out more. A little trick I like to do is wet my brush just a little bit, and without adding extra paint, kind of just lazily drift your brush out so that the last remaining product is still on the brush and the canvas and kind of seamlessly blends out. So here I'm adding gray to highlight what we're going to be doing. This is going to be the main focus for the art. My main detailed work is going to be on this section, so I'm going to sketch it out. My favorite tool for sketching is gel pens. They're very easy to glide and they're thick, and they can easily be wiped off with a cloth if you want to start all over again. So I'm first going to start off with the Deathly Hallows symbol, which is the biggest marker of the work that we're going to be doing. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just the sketch has to be for you and what you need. So I first want to get the image of the Deathly Hallows symbol on. So I'm just going to lightly trace over it with the white paint. So the Deathly Hallows symbol, for those who don't know, is actually 3 objects created into one. So the circle represents the resurrection stone, the line through the triangle represents the Elder One, and the triangle itself represents the invincibility cloak. So if you have these 3 things, you are the master of death. So next I did a quick and rough, very rough outline of Dumbledore and Newt Scamander to basically kind of guide myself on where I'm gonna go. And then I'm going to completely fill it in. I typically use white, but because we already have a semi-light background, I'm gonna go ahead and go with solid light gray. Next, once the gray paint dries, I'm going to sketch out his clothes. So the next step after outlining, we are going to color match his coat. It's a little bit of a navy blue, but because we don't want it to blend too much into the background, we're gonna add a little bit of gray. I'm gonna go in with his pants, his vest, and his little bow tie. So you don't have to do this right away, but typically what I like to do is to kind of lay on the basic shadows. So what I mean by that is it's obviously dimensional what we're looking for. So I already mixed mustard and saddle together to create a happy medium, but saddle is a little bit darker, so I'm going to be adding that on the outside. Coloring in completely with the medium, and then adding mustard as a highlight to certain areas. That way it's just a little bit easier to map out what goes where when you're going over the details. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm gonna move on to his pants. His pants are a little bit of a dark gray, so I'm gonna mix just a little bit of black and gray together. In order to create highlights, I'm just going to be adding the same exact colors that I used to paint in his coat, except I'm just going to be adding white. Just a little bit of white goes a long way. So the next step would be to paint the hands, and that requires skin tone. So I like to do Play in the Sand, Vanilla, since it's a warm, lighter color for highlight, and then dark brown, just because when you lighten it, it turns a little bit cool, so it kind of neutrals out so they don't look too tan, but at the same time they don't look washed out. We want to make sure that the hand is the right color before we start adding the actual lines and wrinkles. So to kind of warm up the hand, even though Play in the Sand is a warm color, it's still a bit on the light side. So I added Saddle, which is a little bit of a reddish, warmish color, to Play in the Sand, and I got kind of like a light neutral pink. So after we've added the mixture of the saddle with the Play in the Sand, I'm going to head and go and add more shadow, and I mixed dark brown with Play in the Sand. And I'm going to be putting that in kind of the same areas that I just put the pinkish color, but a little bit more concentrated. So for his face, I'm using the round brush, and I'm dipping into Play in the Sand just to get a basic flat color for now. We'll add in the highlights and the shadows later. So now that I finished this side on camera, I actually had the opportunity to finish these at home, and it is the screenshot of the trailer for the Hogwarts castle. So in order to make this pair a little bit more wearable, I'm going to go ahead and paint the sky blue onto this side of the shoe, and I'm going to paint the midnight navy black onto this other shoe. That way they look a little bit more coordinated. So now that I've done this side of the shoe and it's completely finished and dried off, I like to do the final step, which is to add the acrylic finisher. So I typically like to do 2 even coats. We're gonna dip our brush into the finisher and then just lightly brush it on. I had a lot of fun painting this pair. Anything that has to do with the wizarding world, I am just a huge fan of, and I want to thank Angelus and all of you watching for this amazing opportunity. If you like my work, you could check it out down below. My Instagram is Christy Customs. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.